Welcome to this week's episode of Lagnapod. I'm your host, Rob Holbert, and we have some folks here. Ashley
Trice.
Scott Johnson.
Kyle Hamrick.
Tommy Hicks.
All right. And Grant is on assignment, so he's not here right now. So, Kyle, you have been following this bizarre shuffle and dance, whatever it is, musical chairs that is the redistricting issue. Where are we right now? Because we know that there's more going on right now.
Well, you're still listening to the most current episode of Lagnapod, but we are back to the Supreme Court.
Right.
I would say this is a game of legal Uno, because there was a reverse card play by the Birmingham court. They say we're going to put another injunction on the 2023 map the state wants to use for the August primary for Congress. And then the state said, we're going to send it back to the Supreme Court. Uno, reverse. Back to the Supreme Court. For
you got to know your Uno rules on this one. Yeah.
That's for them to make a formal ruling on the map. Which map will Alabama use in the August primary for Congress?
So will the Supreme Court, do we know if the Supreme Court will actually say, you will use this map or not use this map, or is the Supreme Court just going to say, appellate court, you were wrong, kick it back down to them again?
We don't know what they would do. I imagine if they just kicked it back down to the federal court once again, we would be like caught in a limbo here.
Legal ping pong, maybe.
Some ping pong. Yeah. Hot potato, because the federal court in Birmingham said that the 2023 map was bad and unconstitutional. The last time we looked at it, it still is bad and unconstitutional now. But interestingly enough, from my reading of the ruling, it seems like they gave the state a path to possibly draw another map in a special session. Dun, dun, dun.
But we only really have
there's
only about 2 weeks to get this done, right?
Yes, because the voters have to be in place by the middle of June for the August primary, because the absentee ballots are going to be sent out.
Right.
Those have to have like a 45-day timeline between the between the election and when they go out. So there's a tight deadline here, and the state has to know which map are we going to use for the August primary. Is it going to be the current court-ordered plan, or is it going to be the 2023 plan if the Supreme Court says we can, or is there going to be a brand new map?
I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say this is all absolute lunacy, and it's all really only because we're trying to manipulate what's going on in Congress.
Yes.
This is why the time frame, we're trying to get squeeze one more seat in, Republican seat into Congress, which I get that is, but it is totally political.
It is entirely a partisan exercise.
What would be the smartest thing to do is just to say, okay, we're going to go on the map that we have right now that we used last time. We have 2 years now to figure out a new map and redo it. But that's not going to happen. Get a new
governor in. New governor could direct a new map making process here.
But it's partisan.
It's not going to change in Alabama.
Right.
So,
It's not going to.
But I do think if it's drawn to make a black district, and if that's really the only way, the way they've got it. I guess you could manipulate it in a couple of different ways, but it's going to be a weirdly bound district, no matter how way.
Because they have to follow the people. You got to go where the people are.
Yeah.
I asked AI to draw, to a map just using basically like running across the state in lines. Just go
grid
through,
system.
Yeah, basically a grid, and it did that, but then it included parts of Florida. I think it wants Tommy Tuberville to have the panhandle so they can bring him in. Wow. I think it knows what's going on. They want to bring in the panhandle.
Bring it. Just stop it about I don't know.
It would be
before Panama City.
It was right along. It was right with the line of Alabama. So it just dropped straight down.
We're going to go back to the early days of this state. Yeah. That's what it used to look like. We used to have that bottom half of Florida.
I don't know why we let that go.
I know, great waterfront property.
So if the motivation is to get more seats, which is fine. And this might tie into another story we're doing, but at what point is your effort to do this actually energizing your opponents, energizing Democrats to turn out? Because
both sides are trying to do this.
Well, that is a question. Yeah, and they both are.
But they end up losing anyway because they've energized the base.
Well, I mean, if you look at the voting, and we talked, that's another story. But if you look at the voting, what happened in this primary, the amount of Democratic voting was dramatically up. I mean, there were more Democratic votes cast in Mobile County than there were Republican votes.
For the first time in a long time. It was by like
if
2,000 more.
If ever. I don't know when I've seen that happen.
Yeah, but in the state, the Republican was still in the lead. But I looked back over a few years past primaries, and it has grown since 2018.
It was the Democratic vote was much more competitive statewide in this primary than it has been at all. It's been a total runaway prior to this. It was still dominantly Republican, but not nearly to the level it had been. No. Which is suggestive that it's just exactly what Scott was just talking about, that some of this stuff has energized Democrats in Alabama. I'm sure in other states where the Democrats are doing this, it's energizing Republicans. All of this is just this huge fight to try to win midterm, of course, to try to, either kneecap Donald Trump or B, make sure he doesn't get kneecapped. And that's, those are the things that we're dealing with.
To guard his knees.
But in the meantime, we're just having this insane program going on here, and people don't know who they're going to vote for. I mean, people are changing, which
they're
candidates are jumping into different
They're supposed
races.
to start reworking the districts for the old maps, in the next couple of days, I think. So,
that's right. Yeah. It's one way or the other. It's going to have to be in place.
Yeah.
Because the election is the 11th of August.
Right.
That's coming up faster than we realize.
Yeah.
I mean, can you even hold a primary if we don't know what map we're using? Or what?
Well, they have to because they're not going to count the results of the primary from a few weeks from last week.
Yeah, there has to be like a midnight 30 point at which we have to do this. Somebody's if they can't get it together at some point, then I think it has to just revert back to the map that's in place at this point.
Yeah, because the
I
message.
wonder if they have an alternate map that they want.
A secret map.
Yeah,
they're waiting. That they're going to pull out their draw 4 card
here. You get your decoder ring to figure out where the treasure is. Yeah, I don't know. It's the something. I don't know. It's all just
the secret map is in this week's issue of the paper. Find it and win a prize.
Yeah.
Well, it's something people obviously have to pay attention to, but we'll stay on it. It is changing nearly hourly, certainly almost daily.
Yeah.
Certainly daily it's been changing, so we'll keep up with it. Speaking of this issue of the paper, this is one of my favorite covers of all time, Ash, and I know. And it is AI. We're just going to say right out front, this is an AI cover.
Yes.
It's about termites. You have a monstrous termite.
Well, you have to know how to prompt well.
Right.
I'll have to say.
And you prompted well.
She's a prompt engineer.
So this is it's an auditory medium here. So describe what we have
well,
here.
So we have a giant termite eating in what looks to be like a very southern style home, or
a delicious southern southern fried home.
A very wooden home.
Lots of wood.
Tasty wood.
Yes, like something you'd see in the Oakley Garden District with a giant termite eating it.
This termite looks like he's happy.
Yes, and so when I was creating this cover, I had please create a vertical image of a giant termite eating a southern style home, and please make sure it has King Kong hanging on the Empire State Building vibes.
Yes,
and that's what it came up with on the first try. So.
I think this will probably scare children.
Yes,
it will be nice.
So.
It is
because termites are scary.
It is
they cost millions, if not trillions, of dollars.
It is nightmarish. It is a very nightmarish looking thing. And as Kyle just noticed, that the house has something like 18 windows on the
just on the side that we can see.
On what we can see, and that's the ones that the termite didn't eat.
This homeowner likes a lot of natural light.
I mean, this house could have somewhere in the neighborhood
high power bills. High power.
This house could have 50 or 60 windows on it. I don't know. We can't see two sides of it.
There's a lot to see in this part of town.
It makes for a big meal.
It's a cool cover.
Yeah.
And it's a cool cover story, Scott, that you wrote about this. And we're not writing about termite swarms primarily, although it is swarm season. But what we're writing about is termite policies, termite insurance, and what's going on with that.
Well, as everyone here knows, the coast here has the most aggressive termite climate. We have Formician termites, which are actually an invasive species from Asia, but they're subterranean, and they will destroy homes. And if you don't have termite coverage, as a homeowner, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot.
You pretty much have to. I mean, you have to have it. If you have a mortgage, you pretty much have to have termite coverage. But the big issue we've seen is that a lot of these termite companies are no longer covering repair, or some are just saying we're not taking any more customers.
Yeah, so I spoke with a man named John Greery, who's had Terminex for about 50 years. He got a notice in the last month that the Terminex was just canceling his policy at the end of his term. And you go and actually check the website, and you type in your address between Mobile or Baldwin, and there's just nothing available. So Terminex has completely stopped issuing any kind of policies here altogether. And then you go start shopping around, and this was John's experience shopping to replace his Terminex, is that everything's increased at least 77% cost. So he's gone from a $300 bond with repair, and repair is if termites cause damage during that bond period, the company is going to pay. The
company's responsible
to repair the damage.
That used to be the norm.
Yeah.
That was what you had, a termite bond. That was the whole program. Is if your house got eaten by termites after they protected it from termites, that they were responsible for paying for it.
Yeah. So shopping, he's found that is no longer available. The damage repair bond is pretty much not. Well, it's some companies are offering it, but the major names, the major names are not. And if they are offering termite bonds, it is a retreatment only. So they are going to go in and put in the bait stations, or put in, or they'll kill things they find. But it's not going to be
You're
the damage
responsible for the damage.
So what
which
we've
is
seen,
the expensive part of it.
Yeah, and what we've seen is some massive lawsuits. The Cathedral of Immaculate Conception downtown being the biggest one. That was what? How many millions of dollars was it?
Like 15 or 25?
I was thinking it's like 25.8.
It was like tens of millions of dollars.
There were some punitive damages in there too.
Some punitive damages.
Corporate fraud,
Corporate fraud. Because the termites...
That landed on Terminex. That was Terminex.
That landed on the Terminex because the termites were eating up the roof above the beautiful sanctuary and all the old stuff. It was bad.
They hit Waterville.
Yes.
At the end of last year, which they came down in a judgment against them as well, multiple millions of dollars there.
Yeah.
The best way, you can read the cover story, obviously, but I guess the best explanation of the scenario is just a domino spiral.
Yeah.
A doom spiral, I guess. It's basically, termites is an assured market. So you're going to have people, it's a cash cow for these companies to come in and do it.
This is a very wet city with a lot of wooden buildings.
A lot of wood.
Warm climate. They can be active for a long time. So, but after, Terminex, I understand, and these people claim that Terminex is one of the largest offenders in terms of, not honoring their policy or under honoring their policy. And so that ended up in, millions of dollars of lawsuits, especially in 2019, where they got hit by the Alabama Attorney General's office for some stuff with a deception lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then, basically that led to a bunch of people moving over to smaller companies.
Yeah.
So the smaller companies got flooded with customers. They don't have the infrastructure, the workers to even support that many accounts. And then you start seeing quality drop on those mid-range customers. And now you basically only have these small operations offering damage repair.
Yeah, I have a smaller company, and they sent me a letter last week telling me they're in bankruptcy. So
that makes you not want to use those.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get out of bankruptcy soon, sir. And I'm like, well, that makes me feel good. But so I mean, what do you have really that you don't have much?
So you got people blaming both sides. You got people blaming the termite companies for not doing what they should have done, and then you got people blaming the lawyers for having these aggressive lawsuits.
Yeah.
And speaking with one of the guys, Boss Pest Solutions, Justin McCourton.
Yeah.
he basically says it's probably a mixture of both. But he said the best solution is to find someone who's honest and stick with them.
Yeah,
well, and you should do it fast because this cover is going to make a lot of termites really mad.
Probably going to be a lot of phone calls
They're going
today.
to be angry about
the termites. The termite companies are going to have their phones ringing off the hook when people look at this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't have this happening.
What was that story when aliens attacked the radio show?
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was real. Everyone's going to be
War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds in the 30s.
Yeah, so we're going to have.
That's what we got here.
Well, it's a great story, Scott, and I also wanted to just say right now we had a little bit of a preliminary, the Alabama Press Association Awards. They announced a few of them. They haven't announced a lot of the big ones yet, but it looked a lot like the Scott Johnson show for Lanyap.
It surely did. Yes.
You even closed one whole category. You had what was all spot news.
Best spot news. Now,
news?
mind you, a lot of those stories fell by the grace of God in my lap. So
that's kind of how spot news works.
You gotta do with what God gives you. You do with it, right?
You gotta work with
do something with it. So
if it's monkeys in Starbucks, if it's a phallic arrest,
there are those things,
Yeah.
but you did well with it, but we have a lot of other categories left to be announced, and I know that we have one major one that they've told us to be ready for. So we're hoping that that'll be a big win in the investigative journalism category. We think it will be. So anyway, just want to compliment you.
We will toot our own horn more once
Kyle,
we know. Yes.
I'm sure there's more out there. They only announced a few. We'll have, hopefully the rest of us will have a little room in here. We'll see.
It'd be nice.
Well, we're going to take a quick break and come back and talk a little sports with Tommy Hicks. And we are back. We've got a lot of sports news going on right now.
Shocking.
Here in the middle of the beginning of the summer, I guess we should say. The very beginning of the summer. What's happening? Tell us about it. I know we got Terry Curtis.
Terry
big news
Curtis,
today.
he really sucks at retirement. He
doesn't have this thing down at all.
Yeah, he's got to work on that. He got to practice that thing. They just announced that he is going to be in the executive director of the high school aspect of the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl has hired him. Senior Bowl Charities Group works in an umbrella of that, which he will coordinate getting equipment, uniforms, that sort of thing for underfunded public high schools in the area, as well as a mentorship for student athletes. And they're trying to get more of a connection between the players and the Senior Bowl themselves. So, you're not going to find a better fit in this town than Terry, because he knows all the coaches, he knows all of that. Yeah. So that'll be a really good fit, I think.
Nice. That'll be good for him. And then we've got some softball finals and baseball finals this week. And
we finally that was the end of our athletic season in high school last week.
Okay.
Saraland won their very first softball state championship.
Okay.
Orange Beach, once again, for the sixth straight year, won. They were 47-1.
Man.
On the year. They've got at least 3 players going to major colleges to play after this. And, every year they've had a team, they won the state championship.
That's amazing.
It's been crazy. So, and they just dominated. But this was the group where, like, Ava Hodo hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning of the very first year that they played for a state championship to win it, a walk-off home run.
Yeah.
And then she was on this team. So it's been that whole group has won nothing but state championships.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive, yeah.
And then I think Faith Academy with baseball.
Academy won the baseball championship. They lost their first game and then won the next 2 to win the best of 3 series, which is amazing. But what was the interesting aspect of that is their high school graduation took place Thursday night. Well, that was the first day of the best of 3 series, and every player said, "Nope, not walking. I'm playing."
Yeah.
So they all stayed up there, and they ended up winning the state championship. So on Tuesday, they brought the 9 seniors back and had their own little graduation ceremony in the gym. They put on the caps and gowns. They've announced them, walked up. Everybody shook
Nice.
hands, took pictures, went
That's
back
classy.
and sat down.
That's good
I
stuff.
like that a lot.
It was pretty cool. And then all 9 seniors have signed to play college baseball.
Wow.
All of them are going to be local, either at Coastal Alabama, at Bishop, or at the United States Sports University.
Okay.
And then one will go to Mississippi Gulf Coast, which is really just the same area.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
pretty cool to see all 9 still get to play and get their college paid for. That's
Great.
That's a pretty cool deal right
Very
there.
cool.
Well, and then you mentioned that it's the end of the high school athletic season, and next year it all changes too.
It
So
all goes crazy next
it's-
year.
Yeah, so it'll be just the private schools
Yep.
and just the public schools. So this was sort of like the last year of how it's always, it's been for a long time. So,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds and how people.
the dynamics are going to
adapt
be
to it.
so different, and every sport is different.
Yep.
So
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And another end of the era is out at South with Joel Erdman.
Yep, Joel Ehrman is retiring. May 31st is his last day.
Yeah.
He has been grinning a lot in the last few days.
He's excited,
They're
yeah.
pretty happy. He and his wife Tina have some trips planned. They're
Okay.
gonna head out of town, and he's a big baseball guy. Obviously, that's where he got his start. And I know his Minnesota Twins are on his list somewhere.
So he's going to go
for-
see some
for a
games
game.
and do
Yep.
some things. That's
Yeah,
fun for
that'll be
him.
cool.
That's good for him. And then I think we have a little more coaching news as well.
Yep, John McKenzie, the twice
Well-traveled, I think.
well-traveled Viger head coach, was head coach for 1 year at Murphy. He has reemerged. He will be announced yesterday. He is going to take over at McIntosh
Okay.
up the road, 2A school. That'll be a little different dynamic. The athletics pool that he had to choose from at Viger compared to what he will have
Be a
now.
little- be a
We'll
little-
test his
be a little
coaching
different,
abilities,
yes.
I'm thinking.
Well, but every kid in that in that community goes to that school, so
Yeah.
who knows? I mean, it's still you're gonna have all the good athletes and all the bad athletes, just not as many. yeah.
Yeah, it's always better to have a larger pool, I think,
Yes.
for these
Yeah,
guys.
well, like Leroy's the same way too.
Yeah.
Larger pool helps.
My Highway 43 folks up here.
Oh, wait, while we're talking about
Yes.
that, I forgot to mention Satsuma fired Rodney Jordan on the very last day of teacher work days.
Okay.
They did not really give him a reason. He'd been there 4 years. He had a couple of 5-5 seasons, which doesn't sound like much when you compare a lot, but at Satsuma, they've only had 16 winning seasons since 1956.
Wow. Okay.
So it's not a program that has a great tradition in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like he was building some things there, but so he'll be gone. Of course, the MGM situation, we're still waiting to see what that's going to mean.
Yeah.
Are they just going to go with an interim for a year and then go back to Golson, or
Yeah.
are they going to cut him free? So we're trying to keep our eyes and ears open for that.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Tommy. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk a little more. And we are back with a story that has been on my mind a lot.
And
Kyle,
I think
it's an
on my
important
mind
one.
too.
Scooters.
Scooters.
Good Lord.
I don't know why I did a mermaid man.
I don't know
there.
what that is.
Evil.
I don't know. It is evil.
Evil.
All right, that's-
Anyway, scooters. Scooters. Let's talk about the scooters, Rob.
The downtown scooters, we have chronicled the fact they are the scourge of society at this point down here. That
The bane of Mobile Bay.
they are,
in my
but
mind,
the city is going to try to. They're not getting rid of them, but they're going to try to keep
which
them.
is sad.
Going to try to control them a little bit more.
That's right. That's right. There's a plan on the agenda for the city council. It should be approved without a problem next week. But the plan is we're going to keep the scooters, which is sad, but we're going to tighten down on these things, crack down on the
So-
scooters. We're going to lower the speed limit
Yes.
the top speed, I should say.
The ability that it
We're
has.
And
going to
they can
lower
do
it.
that, right? The line people. Can.
Yes,
They will
because
govern it, so it can
they
only-
will put a governor on the scooters.
That's one of my favorite terms.
Yes,
A
yes,
governor.
they will put a governor on it.
When it comes to like,
This scooter needs to go a
It
little
needs to go-
slower.
My lordy, this scooter.
This scooter
the
needs to go a
scooters-
little slower.
Henceforth, the scooters shall not be allowed to go faster than 8 miles per hour.
8 miles per hour. Okay.
They're also going to have mandatory daily corralling of said scooters.
Thank God they need
what
to do
about
that.
during Mardi Gras? Did they say anything? That's where I think it needs, like through the
They
crowds
did
during Mardi
not
Gras.
say it.
Ugh,
Well,
They did
well-
not say it, but hopefully these rules will go into effect and be present during
Yeah.
the carnival
well, I mean,
times.
but just people riding through the thick crowds on Joe Cane and Fat Tuesday,
Yeah.
especially,
Yeah.
they need to ban that.
Especially
They
if they're
should be
going
banned.
30 miles an hour, which they had been. Yeah, it's.
but
and
now
you
they'll
said
be puttering through the crowd.
And somehow it only 18-year-olds or
Only
or
18-year-olds
older.
are supposed to ride.
You're not supposed to be drunk while you're riding them.
There's going to be a
Now, I don't know how they're gonna-
mandatory
you're gonna have to-
notice that
So
pops
do you-
up.
They're gonna
that
have to
says-
blow in it to
So
get
you'll
it to
get
start.
a SUI scootering under
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
influence.
Yeah.
That's right. Some scootering under the influence. There's
gonna
supposed to be a little message that'll pop up and say, if you've had too much
Hey,
to
are you
drink
drinking?
tonight, you're
Don't
not
use us,
supposed to
please.
get on the scooter.
And underage scootering.
Underage.
Underage.
Yep.
Underage drunk scootering. You can't
Yeah.
do that. Anyway,
So
it's,
they are
big
going to tighten down on these things. I talked to the mayor, and he had said, we have heard the concerns. We have read in the pages of Lanyap and heard on the streets of Mobile the concerns about these scooters.
I like to
And we're
think that we
going to
have been
answer them.
I like to think we've been the tip of the spear on getting this scooter thing under control.
I have
because
hated them
it is-
since day one.
Well, they've just become a nuisance down here. And I mean, you talk to any business owner down here. I mean, even Downtown Mobile Alliance, they gladly agree that they've just become a nuisance and the
But they're not supposed to be on the sidewalks either.
They are
No.
not.
But
And
people ride 'em down the
Spiro said, we tried to get the sidewalks in this new deal we're going to have with Lime, but there's no way with the GPS technology to limit it down to the sidewalk.
to make it so
Like
you
to
can't
the
ride
road.
on
To
the
Make it so
sidewalk.
you can't ride on the sidewalk.
Like it would just turn off or something
Yeah.
like that
Like,
if you get on
yeah,
the sidewalk. That would be interesting.
go over the
Just sailing
handlebars.
over it.
That would be
over the
interesting,
handlebars. Yeah.
It just
The-
explodes.
with all of the data centers at AI, we have still not come up with a way to zero in on the GPS
Yeah, well-
to delineate sidewalk from roadway.
The AI
on
will
scooters.
handle this one, I think. But yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see if they get this thing under control because it's out of control right now. And
It has to be under
They're laying
control.
out in the street. You're dodging on the sidewalk. You can't walk down the sidewalk. They're
Yeah.
laying in the handicap ramps on the
They'll
sidewalks.
block our driveway
They're
on
blocking
the driveway.
You got to get up, and they're heavy to move.
I
when they're not
saw
on
a
it.
video
They're all over the place.
on Facebook. Somebody was eating at Roosters, and a waitress got ran over on the sidewalk
Wow.
by a freaking scooter.
Wow.
They are, and I've been told that they're going to feature in the new transit plan that we've got.
Okay.
That at the bus stops, once we get this new public transit bus plan going, there will be Vespa style scooters that you can rent to go from the bus stop to your home.
I just feel like that is just a disaster waiting to happen. I'm
We're-
sorry. People are just going to get on a Vespa. What if they don't know how to ride a Vespa? I mean, those things will go pretty fast.
Oh, they rent them in
Hopefully-
beach towns and
Sure.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
I'm just
Hopefully,
saying,
these
like,
will have no more than 8 miles an hour speed on them.
Doubt it.
I
doubt
do know that they'll know how to run the red lights,
Yes,
regardless of
exactly. Yeah, we'll run a red light in a scooter and see what happens.
So we've made some progress here.
Well-
we've made some progress on the scooters. It's not quite what we would
Yeah.
like to see, but it's some
Well,
progress.
we'll see. I think that the scooters are a mess. But and then one of the stories we've got this week, and one I've been working on, is just the land deals over on the Eastern Shore with the judges. It's fascinating when you see one of the judges over there, presiding judge, has had some land businesses with a couple of prominent lawyers, And that's one. If folks haven't read it, I think it's worth reading.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And then Ash, Nappies have wound up.
We're wrapping up. This Sunday is the final
This Sunday.
day. Yes,
I can't believe
some
it.
of our radio friends have announced it was last week. It usually is the Sunday
That's
of
right.
Memorial Day, but
That's
Memorial
right.
Day
I think
was
that's
early.
what a lot of people were thinking. It was Memorial Day Sunday.
It has fallen that way the last couple of years, but since Memorial Day was early, it's May 31st. So this Sunday at midnight is your last chance to vote for all of our 4 million categories, and we're excited about it.
And now these voting district maps have not been changed.
They
for
have
the
not
Nappies,
been
right?
challenged yet.
No challenges.
Yes, but we are awaiting a court decision. A ruling at any time.
The
Any
hammer
minute.
could fall.
The hammer could fall.
But our voter turnout overall is definitely better than the primary elections.
Yes. Yeah, Nappies are always beating the actual elections.
Yeah.
All right, folks, thanks for listening this week. That's all we've got. We'll be back next Thursday with the next episode of Lagnapod. Have a great week.
The Lagnapod is a Something Extra publishing production. Executive producers are Rob Holbert and Ashley Trice. Music is by Some Pulse Sound and Electro Animals. Only subscribers like you have access to this podcast. Tell your friends they can sign up at my.linappmobile.com. For advertising opportunities, please call 251-450-4466.